real, life-changing paranormal experiences. Welcome to Friday Night Ghost Frights from Haunted Road Media. I'm author and ghost historian Mike Ricksecker. Explore with us. I've had a number of paranormal experiences, but only a handful that could be considered life changers. This is part 2 of those experiences. A few years after we filmed the case for The Haunted, which you can see in part 1 of this series, there were some things that were going on at home. Now, my kids had thought that I brought something home with me, and I still claim to this day that I never brought anything home with me. I've never had an attachment or anything like that. Yet the light on the ceiling fan in the living room kept turning on its own. Sometimes it would turn off on its own. Well, one day it was just my youngest son and I at home, and we were getting ready to go out. We were getting picked up to go to a movie, and all of a sudden that light came on. Well, in the few minutes that we had left, I basically said, all right, I only have a few minutes here. If you really are somebody here, you have to impress me more than that. And all of a sudden that light started blinking. So okay, I was impressed. I went ahead and got out my audio recorder, and this is the only time I've ever done this at home. And I set up a little EVP session, only for a few minutes, and I actually did catch an EVP that said, "Don't stay here anymore." It was within a couple months that I was no longer living at that house. So yeah, definitely a major change of life. So a few years later, I was invited out to this fantastic historic showboat along the Illinois River, and this was like the ultimate life changer here, because not only was it just a fantastic piece of history, a wonderfully haunted location, but it's also where I met Shauna, who I'm of course spending the rest of my life with. But there are several things that happened on this boat, other than the fact that I met the love of my life. And one of those things is what I can only best describe as fairy activity, only because of the fact that I don't know what else it was. So we had done an event for Haunted Road Media's Ghosts of the Goldenrod, and the event had finished up. There were just 3 of us left. It was myself, Shauna, and her friend Tara. And the 2 ladies are sitting on the floor. I'm standing up. The only source of light was my flashlight, which was on the floor and shooting up into the lobby area. The boat was all boarded up because they're closing it up for the winter. This was the very end of November. And all of a sudden, I saw this translucent yellow ball of light just kind of whoosh down between Tara and Shauna to the floor.
I have this right here.
Okay. So you're there. Tara would have been here.
Yeah.
I was standing in the middle here. And we were all looking out there toward the lobby. Now, the first time I saw any sort of ball of light, it whooshed down real quick right there.
At first, I'm just like, okay, I didn't quite understand what it was. Maybe it was a trick of the eyes, whatever. I let it go. But a minute or 2 later, next to Shauna on the floor was this bar of light that just came up out of nowhere. And like I said, the boat is all boarded up. There's no source of light. My flashlight hadn't moved. It's still shooting off the same direction. I was like, what in the world? The girls are talking back and forth to each other, don't notice a thing.
A little bar of light on the floor here. And my flashlight was pointing out that way, straight out to the lobby, and was on the floor. But that little bar of light was angled this way, like right here. It was short, I don't know, about 3 inches long, slightly V-shaped.
So I go around Shauna to have a better look at this thing. I'm looking down, I'm like moving my hand in different directions to see if I can break a beam of light. Nothing's happening. And the bar of light was like this slight V shape. So it seemed it had like its own source of light from one little point of light on the floor. Well, then it started wavering like this, kind of fluttering, and then was gone. It's like, what in the world?
And then it wavered. I was like standing here pointing, trying to figure out, if I could break a beam of light. And it wavered and went away. And then, like a minute later, I saw it whoosh around you. You're sitting there, whooshed around you. And you guys still didn't see it.
So the girls are finally like, okay, what in the world is going on? I tried to describe what I just saw to them. They hadn't seen it. And then I saw that translucent yellow ball of light just whoosh around Shauna. Again, they hadn't seen it. I tell them what happened. They kind of think I'm crazy. But then that translucent yellow ball of light is up in the air, dancing around the showroom. They finally see it.
And then it was boing, boing, boing in the air all over the place.
And we're watching this thing for a good 4.5 minutes, just dance around the showroom. We're trying to communicate, try to talk to it, all of that. Unfortunately, because of the event, we didn't have any video going. All of our batteries were exhausted from that, but we did have our audio recorder. So all we really have is this audio recording of us describing what we're seeing, trying to communicate with it.
No, there goes. What is it?
No, I think I just saw exactly what you were saying.
No, it went that way.
Hello?
Hello, are you just trying to play a game?
Because I saw, as soon as you said you saw it go this way, I saw it go that way.
Yeah.
And then it finally just kind of took off out toward the lobby area, just kind of whooshed down from the air between Tara and Shauna and was out into the lobby. Game changer for me, because I'd never seen something like that before, where, again, to me, best described as a fairy. Now, I'd seen translucent balls of light before. I've seen legitimate orbs, and I'm not talking dust orbs from photos. It's something I've actually seen with my own eyes. But this was transformative. I am 99.9% sure that translucent ball of light came down between the girls, went over there by Shauna, became that bar of light. And when it took off, for lack of a better term, that flutter, it became that yellow ball of light again. So transformative in nature, for sure. I'd never seen anything like that before. And just the way it was flying around, dancing around, some sort of fae type creature, which I'd never seen before. To me, that was all, mythology and legend, and maybe there's a little grain of truth in there from way back when, but now I'd actually seen it with my own eyes. Now that makes me, as a paranormal investigator, as a writer, as a ghostorian, that makes me want to dive back into all of these other different myths and legends and try to find out, okay, what of all of this is really true, because there's actually a little bit more truth here than the fiction. That opens up a whole new world of possibilities out there. Then there's the Mineral Springs Hotel, in which I've had a number of different paranormal experiences at, all kinds of haunted activity. Everywhere you go within that building is absolutely haunted. But there's a couple big changes for me in this. One is the water-based EVPs that Lee Ehrlich, our good friend from Florida, taught us how to be able to just listen for, not even, try to capture on an audio recorder. They become disembodied voices off the water. And Mineral Springs has these fountains where you get the lup, 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 and you can actually hear the voices playing off the water from these fountains. It's absolutely fantastic. And if you check out some of our videos about Mineral Springs, you can hear plainly for yourself the audio that we have captured from there.
Where are you from?
How old are you? 30?
I thought I heard 33.
33?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a totally new way of investigating, a totally different way of actually interpreting water-based paranormal activity, not just from the energy within it, but actually from the physical properties of the water itself. So there's that. And there's also the fact that Mineral Springs Hotel is the location for our Haunted Road Media Paracon, which has been an absolutely fantastic conference. And I'm not just saying this to toot our own horn with the Paracon to try to get people to come out and all that. This was a big responsibility, a big task, and something I had never done before. But the way that we all came together and just absolutely enjoyed the weekend and had such a wonderful time with everybody, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. So a game changer for me. In sure, I have all the confidence in the world of what we're doing with Haunted Road Media, but that was just kind of another stamp on the whole thing, that this is definitely the right direction to be going, that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. People throughout their lives will question, am I really doing the right thing? And that was a moment in which it was like, yes, this is absolutely the right thing. And yes, there's all the paranormal activity that goes on there as well. From the water-based EVPs that we've captured, all the paranormal activity going on in the pool, the ways that we've been touched upstairs. It's an absolutely amazing place with all the history involved too. And for more personal paranormal experiences, please go ahead and check out the videos off to the side. I'm Mike Ricksecker. Until next time.